it's a nothing burger. They'll get this thing figured out in a couple of days. I was at camp, and the team look fast, right? So you can say that the organization has dropped the ball, and you don't want to have a distraction. You want to get your, starter, because we know it's no quarterback competition in New York. We know that he's a starter. Hell, the other two guys on the roster, I think James Morgan, I forget the other kid, don't have any NFL starts. You expect them to get a veteran in there. But, they have done a great job in providing protection, doing something that they didn't do for Sam Darnold. Going out and getting Morgan Moses, going and get Vera Tucker. Becton looks like a beast, right? He looks slim and trim. He has an unofficial weight. You always got to watch out for the guys for the unofficial weight. All we know is that he reported at the weight that was agreed upon. But, you think about Michael Carter. So they've done a good job in not putting it all on Zach Wilson coming in. And, I was fortunate enough to bring in two rookie quarterbacks in Joe Flacco and Mark Sanchez. And all we did was go to two AFC championships. This isn't that type of team, but I think Saleh has them in the right direction. I think eventually they get this figured out and we'll forget about it.
So if I have this correctly, this isn't about the money. He's slotted in already to get like a 4-year, $35 million deal, something around that.
Yeah.
This is about that if they cut him before the end of his contract and he goes to another team, if they don't include this language, he can not only collect under the guaranteed value of the contract he would have with the Jets, but also the money he would get with the new team.
Exactly.
And they want to prevent that from happening. And this is something that the Jets kind of toe the line on. They haven't done this under the Joe Douglas era. They haven't changed that policy, so they're trying to toe that line. But, Sam, I look at this and I wonder about the optics of it. Everybody else in the first round is in camp. The Jets have all this hope pinned on Zach Wilson, and yet when they look at their team, their star is not in camp. And by the way, there's no veteran behind him at this point. No real veteran who's been around for decades to take his place.
Zach, if you're watching training camp, not even there yet, at home, you're probably working out. If you're listening, right, on the car to your workout, wait. Get your money. Roquan Smith, I play the Chicago Bears. Roquan Smith, first-round pick. Similar language. You had to wait. And all of a sudden, fans are saying, what's up with our first-round pick? And coaches, whatever. But all the players in the locker room had his back because we all understood that if we were in that position, we would do the same thing. Why not wait another week or 2 or 3 to get the money that really belongs to you, that should be guaranteed, as opposed to saying, you know what, let me just sign back so I can come back to training camp a day or 2 later. You talk about, number one, these reps, right? The reps are important. But what I think is even more important is the fact that Zach Wilson is the guy. We know that. He's the guy moving forward. There's no doubt about it. But you don't need to rush this thing at all. Don't rush. Wait. Take your time. Get the contract you need. And then lastly, I think what's most important is that if the Jets are so concerned with this offset language, right? If I release him after a year or 2 or 3, I don't want to have to still pay him. If you don't trust him, then why would you even draft him?
Yeah.
Firstly. Secondly, why don't you get better coaches to coach him? So what you're telling me, the New York Jets organization, is that you either don't trust your evaluation and how you evaluate talent, number one, or number 2, you don't trust your coaches in developing talent. If you're so concerned about paying this guy the guaranteed money that he's earned or that he's deserved, at least that the contract stipulates or should stipulate, then I would be questioning your own decision-making in drafting him.
Well, what they're going to tell you is, we don't want to set a precedent. And this really appeals to me as a lawyer, right? Like, as a lawyer, the one thing I always did when I was practicing law, I always said if we had a problem, if I was on a team, if I was on an organizational side, I would say, if we've been doing something this way for 10, 20 years, do not change it, because once we change it, everybody's going to ask for it. But I think you make a good point, because here's the deal. This is all based on paying him if you cut him before the end of his term. He is the number 2 pick in the draft. What are the chances
Where's the number
that
3?
they are going to cut him?
Where's the number?
What are the chances that's going to happen?
Where's the number 3 pick? Sam Darnold. That didn't work out, right?
But they didn't cut him.
I know they traded him.
Yeah.
Where's Dwayne Haskins at right now?
Right.
It's a good. It's a valid point.
But check this out.
Yeah.
This is something that we say the Jets have been doing for, 10, 20 years?
Or however long. Maybe it's under Joe Douglas's term. We're not sure about.
Great. The Jets haven't been good for however long.
Hold up.
So I mean, it's been a minute. Bart, it's been a minute since you've been gone for about 15, 12.
How about the Roy Jones? Y'all must have forgot.
The Jets haven't been good since Bart left. No, since however long. And so I hear what you're saying, Ryan. Okay, we don't want to set a precedent. But what if you set a winning precedent? What if you set a precedent that actually builds culture and that builds a winning organization? What if that was the precedent you set? We all have agents, whether you have a football agent, a TV, whatever, right? You all have agents, or if you're in the business world, you might be negotiating for yourself, right? People say you don't want to set a precedent, but what did we hear earlier? Production equals tolerance. They obviously drafted him second overall for a reason. You might say he hasn't produced in the NFL, but he produced in college. You need him, and so you can bend the rules a little bit. In my contract stuff, you bend the rules. Hey, this is the precedent, but hey, man, come on, let's make something happen. And so there's no pressure. Zach Wilson, if you're listening at home, working out, there is no pressure. Literally the same shoes with Roquan Smith, our first-round pick, who should have been a Pro Bowler, got snubbed. Amazing inside linebacker for the Chicago Bears. He waited. He waited, and he got the contract that he wanted. And yes, he might have missed a week or two of training camp. And you might sit here and say, well, that's just the linebacker, and it's not the quarterback. It doesn't matter. Wait 3 weeks to help you for the next 3, 4, or 5 years.
Deadline breeds action, right? And you know that the closer they get to preseason, they know how important those reps are. Though right now those reps aren't important. I was there. Listen, the team didn't have on pads. It was an hour and 20-minute practice. He's been there for all the OTAs. He's learning the playbook. I don't think he's probably somewhere working out. I think he's in town somewhere probably waiting for the things to be finalized. But that's why you hire your agent, right, to do the dirty work for you, because he's advising you, because you can't make business decisions with your emotions. And right now he's going to have to fight for what he believes in. If that's what they believe in, that's the hill he wants to die on, then so be it. I have no problems with that. I don't think his teammates do either.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.